Hello, patrons! So I'm shooting this video to send you little updates. I'm in my backyard here, in my new house. Before I go, I'll go back in and show you my new living space, the new office area, as long as you promise not to judge me for the mess that it's in right now. It's the end of the day. And a couple things I wanted to bring up, one of which, just very quickly, is Patreon is removing the Reddit flare option. They explained why. It seemed like maybe people just weren't as stoked about it. I thought it was cool. It got me into posting on Reddit, and I really like what's come out of my engagement with Reddit, the healthy engagement with Reddit. The less than healthy are dank memes engagement, not so great, but generally on a discourse level, I've been really appreciating it. Although I'm fingers crossed, looking forward to more contributions from more people over time as the subreddit grows. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I don't know if you've been feeling it, but there's probably like a sense of me being a little bit more checked out from the podcast recently. Like the energy, I'm a little bit more checked out. And that is not by any means a lack of care or interest or love for the podcast. I've been putting a lot of energy into it, although they've been energy like pockets. So, for example, basically because I've been traveling, so I my life has been very not complex, but like compressed for the last few months. But in order to prepare for things, I've needed to record a bunch of podcasts, like interviews, and then get ones put together somewhat quickly, like, multiple episodes in a row over the course of a few days, rather than, normally I'm doing one, I'm recording one a week or more, putting one out every 2 weeks, plus other content in and around, right? But I've been having to, do these compressions, and then I would be off. So if you've been noticing maybe like a lack of energy, it's really been because I'm not actually doing the podcast. I'm like off doing this public speaking thing. And I actually, I've made an audio, like I've rendered the audio from one of my talks, one of the better ones in Edinburgh. And I'm going to be sharing it for everyone who's on the Dropbox, which I think is $16 plus. I can't remember. But you'll see a post about it afterwards. But the love and the care is there. But I've noticed it's interesting too, because it's like the patronage is dropping recently, which is the ebb and flow of life, of course. And also I wonder if there's like a direct correlation between like the lack of active consciousness, focus, attentive energy I'm putting into the show in like the real time engagement of the content, and people sort of like checking out a little bit. So wondering about that. But the show is, I'm feeling still super stoked, and everything that came out of this last trip was really positive, and I think there's a lot of really cool places that the podcast is going to go over the next year as a consequence of just like the shifting sort of cultural trends in the discourse, and especially the increased relevance of discussing collapse and ecology and political stuff, and not, I try to be not too political, but in the sense of like people en masse responding to crises, and of course psychedelics in there, and my whole thing, it's psychedelics, but it's also everything else about life. So so to end, I'll tell you about why my life has been so compressed. So at the end of June, I had a speaking tour that went into the middle of July, 2 weeks in Alberta, which was amazing. Oh my god, I felt like a brand new person after that. It was like I couldn't be more grateful for the experience I had in Alberta. Then I arrived, and 2 weeks later I moved out of my house to move into a new house, and 2 weeks after that I was on a 1-month tour through the UK, where I landed very jet lagged, had 1.5 days to recover before I was in a full day sort of like leadership summit at the Psychedelic Society, which was on the Thursday, and then all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Breaking Convention, training to Manchester, first thing Monday morning for a talk in Manchester, Monday evening, then training back out Tuesday morning to do a talk in London at the Psychedelic Society on the Tuesday, and then another one at the House of Togetherness in Covent Gardens on the Wednesday, to then get on a train, which turned out to be a hilarious, there was like an issue with the train line. Somebody was like on the track, so we got like stopped for over an hour and no trains were going up where I was going. It was like kind of stressful, but it forced me to just be like, well, I'm completely out of control, trust and surrender. And that disposition really changed the course of my trip in a positive way. But anyway, so I spent Thursday doing that, to then speak Friday in Newcastle, to then take a train up to Edinburgh Saturday morning, to then speak in Edinburgh on the Sunday. Then things started to chill, which were cool. I had a couple days in Edinburgh. I had a really good time with the guys from the Psychedelic Society there. Then I trained back to London and had, I believe, 1 day or less, I can't remember, to prepare to then go to the Togetherness Summer Festival, which was an intimacy festival where I actually taught something that I've never done on a professional level, which is I blended my work with psychedelics and neurobiology and that stuff with my dance training, and did some movement practices. Oh, hey, what's up? It's my housemate up there. That went really well, and I had such a good time at that festival. Like, learned a lot about myself, like where I'm at, and how. It's so much longer to explain it to you, but it was a really positive experience of connection and being really welcomed and navigating my own sense of discomfort in the face of being, around so many people that knew each other with such an intimate vibe, and that were also very welcoming. It was all my own baggage, of course, but really great. So then I arrived back and had exactly 1 month, which I am in the midst of, to prepare to then leave for Australia. So excuse me. So then I'm going to Australia on October 12th, and I'll be gone until the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference, just before Halloween, and that's when I'm flying back, and then the conference on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of November, and then I'm finally gonna actually chill for, I think, 5 days before I come back, and maybe chill for another 2 or 3 days before I hit the ground running and get things flowing with the podcast and everything else coming down the pipeline. And so it's been compressed. I feel absolutely grateful, blessed for the life that I am enabled to live, and that you are contributing to essentially a reliable full-time income that allows me to put so much time and energy into not only the podcast, but into synthesizing, understanding, and mapping what I'm learning in this podcast author researcher journey, to then share it with others around the world, and that others around the world want to hear what I have to say and honor me in that. So pretty positive. Little inside scoop on what's coming up. I just interviewed Dr. Rosalind Watts today about psilocybin and depression. I've got interviews about nutrigenomics, I got one with Hamilton Souther about white ayahuasca culture and shamanism. I've got one about cannabis coming out soon. I got one where I did something similar to what I did at Ozora for episode 100, but at Breaking Convention with several new people and 3 new questions. That's coming out next week. In a couple days, the talk that I gave at House of Togetherness called Psilocybin and Connection, I'm going to be putting that up on YouTube with a Q&A available for people who are on the Dropbox to also get access to, exclusive access for y'all. And I'm putting in time, putting in work, feeling excited, feeling good, and I hope you're feeling excited and good too. I don't know where you live in the world, but here, there's you gotta see over here. It's a bit messy, but here we go. The autumn is coming in. So it's coming in. All right, let's end this video. We've been going for about 10 minutes. I'm going to take you into my living space through the garage. you see that. I've been working pretty hard on my physical. Oh, there you go. Working pretty hard on my physical fitness. That there is essentially my gym. I got some stuff going. Look, all these boxes and shit. I'm totally not, totally not set up yet. All right, so this is my new space. Here's the desk situation. Again, it's messy. Things are not even hung on the walls. Things are all over the place, as of course you would assume they would be. A little bed space back there. Again, messy. But great. And I'm feeling very happy and yeah, a bit tired, but feeling happy. So wishing you the best and looking forward to continuing on this journey with you. Okay? Bye.